It's a nice warm night out here, and I wanted to show you a couple of my waggy palms, Trachycarpus wagnerianus. And this particular one I planted last year. It was seed grown and it was in a box, and it was a decent size. And so when I planted it out, it had an enormous root ball. I had to dig down almost 2 feet down and 2 feet in each way. It was a huge, and it was full of roots too. So the palm itself wasn't that big, but it had this giant root ball, whereas normally when you buy a palm like this, it'd be in a medium-sized pot. So when I put this thing into the ground, it immediately started growing. But this is year 2 now, and I'm noticing, so this is kind of what it was throwing out last year, nice and stiff. And these are, from the hastula to the tip, these are kind of, around 12 inches. Some of them are a little bit smaller, some of them are a little bit bigger. But this year, it is starting to pump out some serious fronds, 18 inches. Look at these, massive, and it's got that really nice white edging. So I would say that this is a happy palm. And waggies are known for slow growth, but I'm telling you, this thing is growing as fast as any Fortunae I have. I think this is about where we were at the beginning, in the spring, and look at that. It is really pumping out the fronds. It seems to enjoy this spot quite a bit, and just very dark green, really nice white edging, and super stiff. So this palm is rapidly becoming one of my favorites, because sometimes when you see waggies, they'll have no lower fronds and they kind of look weird because they have this long trunk and then they just kind of have a few fronds up top. But this one is looking, I think, fantastic. I have seen the largest waggy I've ever seen. I'm not sure if I ever shot a video of it. It's at a nursery, Sistis Nursery, and it is a monster of a palm. And it has so many fronds, and they're massive, and it's kind of in a shady area. I didn't even know it was a waggy. That's how big and full this thing looked. But I'm gonna try and get up there at one point, and I'll shoot a video on that palm, because it is really something else. It's got to be one of the biggest waggy palms around, period. I've never seen anyone bigger than that. But so I got this guy. I got one hidden in here. This one I've actually had for 3 or 4 years now, and it's coming along too. But it's kind of has a bit of competition. So this one went in as just a little tiny thing, barely even had a trunk. In the first couple of years, it didn't do much. Let me show you some of these fronds. Look at how small this little frond is. That's what it was putting out. And now, now we're doing a bit better. But you know what? These fronds look a little more, the kind of like the fingers are a little more dissected. This one maybe not as much. The newer one's up here. But this one's looking good too, and it's coming along, but it has a lot of competition and a little bit more shade here. You can see the fuchsia behind it. It's really taken off. But so I got these 2 wags, no flowers yet, but they're both growing really well. I think the one in sun looks better. That one's really looking good. So, and the nice thing is unlike the Fortunae, the fronds retain their shape. So if you want a tidy appearance, if you're in a windy spot, these do quite well. They're very thick, very, very thick, unlike the messy, kind of wild type palm. So we actually have, I have two neighbors with Waggies. One, he has quite a few and big ones. He probably has, I think he has 7. And I have another neighbor that has one that's bigger than this one. It flowered for the first time this year. No, actually, not much bigger than this, but they are around. But you know, they do command a higher price because they supposedly are slow. But I'll tell you, I don't think this one's slow. I think if you put them in the right spot and they just kind of get the right amount of sun and you give them the right amount of moisture, they'll surprise you. So just look for the ones that have the stiffest fronds though, because a lot of times I think it's kind of difficult to get purebred wags, just because there's usually Fortunae around somewhere. Anyway, thanks for watching.